we're ready for our second set of stretch and fold. So I'm gonna go get it from out of the oven, which is in there with the light on, because it's pretty cool in here. I've washed my hands, dried them off, but I'll show you what I'm gonna do. This is again, Amy Bakes Bread's recipe, her beginners no need sourdough. Simplest, easiest, almost foolproof. I can't say foolproof because it's all based off of your starter, how strong your starter is. So that's a start. I put a lot of information on my previous lives about starter. So let's just get into it. I don't see anybody here yet, so maybe I should wait a few seconds. So we are doing sourdough. This is my dough. I have done one stretch and fold. So we mixed it up into a shaggy dough, and then welcome to the TikTok live. There's nobody here. Okay, so we mixed it up, and wow, this is weird. I don't understand the lives. I don't know how lives work. Maybe because I put a topic. The last time I just did nothing. So maybe I should do that next time. Okay, well, I'm gonna record this for myself, so if you show up, I thank you. But we're gonna go with starting the process. Okay, so we are doing the stretch and folds for our sourdough. And what we're gonna do is we've got this from out of the oven. I pulled it out and it looks pretty good. See, it's starting to fluff up, but it's still a little glassy and it's, you know, it's just not there yet. But of course, it's only had a rest for 45 minutes, a stretch and fold, and now we're on the second rest for 45 minutes. I'm gonna do our second stretch and fold. So what you do, wet your hands, super simple. I'm gonna wet my hands down, they're a little bit wet, and I'm gonna stretch and fold. Now you can see how this is even different from the last time. If you were here last time, it is way different. It's still, now it's just much softer, and you can see it comes up higher, and we're just gonna circle around, stretch and pull it over. That's what they mean by stretch and fold. You're literally stretch and folding it on top of itself. You can go a little slow. You don't want to rip it. So if it feels like it's starting to rip, you stop. If your starter isn't as strong or something's temperature isn't as warm, it might not be as pliable. So you may need to do a couple extra stretch and folds. So you can see I'm just stretching and folding. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do. I kind of jiggle it and it kind of starts to pull apart. And as soon as it resists to the point where it doesn't come apart, then I fold it over. Again, stretch. And you are adding some air into it at this point too. So this is just a little bit of air going in there. You're kind of strengthening that gluten and just going around, stretch and fold. And every time you do the stretch and folds, you can see the texture just gets stronger and stronger. So I was talking about, or I think I'd forgotten, I'd gotten just sidetracked, and I do that a lot. There's a couple processes for doing the strengthening of your dough. So, you know, a traditional yeast bread is, you knead it. And you can knead sourdough. It's just going to be different in terms of, you're not going to get a traditional sourdough texture, but you can definitely do kneaded sourdough and use the sourdough starter for all kinds of breads that are kneaded. And I have a couple that I do knead. My baguette recipe, I knead. So the other type of fold is a coil fold. Now I have not done, well, so my hands are a little bit dried up, so I'm gonna do this. A coil fold, I'm not really great at coil folds. You pull from the center and then you lift and you fold over. And my husband and friend are coming back home, so that's a coil fold. I find that in the early stage, the first two folds don't work well for that. The next type is a slap and fold, which I'm not gonna do. And those, I guess my sister says she does those sometimes in her kneaded breads as well. My countertop doesn't have, I don't have a flat countertop, it's got grout. So it doesn't work, but you essentially you have to have a big surface, and you have to have your scraper, and you slap it down, scrape it, scrape it, scrape it, bring it around, slap it, scrape it, scrape it, scrape it, fold it together, slap it, fold it together, and you're scraping a lot. And that's when your dough is so loose and sticky that it's not holding. I don't have a surface that I can do that with. I've tried it on the silicone surfaces, does not work. The scraping silicone pads just don't work. So until I get a better countertop or a large board that I can work with, again, I didn't like doing it on wood too. So hard granite and marble, I think, is the best way to do that. So this stretch and fold is now ready. I'm gonna go put it back in the oven, and I will be back in 45 minutes. I'm not gonna stick around and talk your guys' ears off this time. But I will be compiling some, I hope I can compile these into like some series on videos as well. I'll be trying to go live when I'm making sourdough, just to keep people encouraged, understand that it's really not that hard, that you don't have to do all of the work that people make it sound like, and that you can do the bread for you. If you're doing it for you and your family, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to have something that makes you happy and that gives you joy. And so for me, it's an adventure. It's not, it is a science, but it's an adventure for me. So just remember that. Enjoy the time that you have making your bread, and don't stress out about it, because the minute you stress, it's not going to make you happy. So I will be back in 45 more minutes. We're going to do another one. So that's probably at my time, 10:40. So 10:35, 10:40, I'll be back, and we'll do the last stretch and fold, and we will see. You'll see what it looks like, and then we'll have a couple more lives as we go through this process. But I'm not going to keep you live for hours and hours, because sourdough, if you're doing traditional like I'm doing, it's 3 to 4 hours, about 3 hours, 4 hours of actual kind of coming back and going. And so I don't think you want to stay online for 4 hours with me. So thank you again. I appreciate it. I hope you are enjoying these lives. These are my first day of doing live, so I'll kind of get better at it as I go, and I'll get some better tools to kind of get an idea of what's going on. But feel free to comment and tell me if there's things that you're missing, things you'd like to know about sourdough. If it's the live is gone, go to one of my other posts that is talking about sourdough starter, or some of the breads that I make, and just comment and say what you're looking for. And then I can let you know when I'm going live, and then we can I can try to answer some of your questions. Or you can, when I'm live, I don't think people are asking questions. So if you do have questions later, just let me know. Whether I get to them or not, I'm not good with it yet, but we'll see. And if you want to know, yes, this is a TikTok shop shirt. Isn't it lovely? Actually, it's super comfy. It is really lovely. I love this shirt. So I can do TikTok shop stuff now, but I'm not going to do those on my live for a while, because I don't know if I can put TikTok shop links in my live yet, but I won't do that not for a while. My thought for this series is really just focus on the bread. So I'll be back at about 10:40. Thank you guys.